Hi, welcome to Focus. My name is Leroy Smith, and today we'll be speaking with Melissa Atwell. She is the founder of YANA, a humanitarian non-governmental organization. Ms. Atwell, welcome to Focus.
Thanks for having me, Leroy.
All right, so we're going to jump right into it. Please tell us a bit about yourself, and then we'll move off.
What is there to tell you about myself, Leroy? Most of you know me as Melly Mel, but of course, as you just said, my name is Melissa Atwell. I'm 35, I'm a mother, I'm an activist, I am a businesswoman, and I'm the founder, of course, of YANA.
Tell us a bit about your childhood growing up.
I had a pretty decent childhood. I grew up mostly with my grandmother from a very early age because, of course, my mom was a single parent, so she was always out, working, looking to get money to take care of me and my younger sister. So I would always stay at home with my grandmother and the rest of the family.
Okay, so you're known in this country as someone who advocates for women who are abused, and also you do some form of advocacy for
children,
persons
gender-based
who are in
violence
need and
issues,
what's not.
yes.
What caused you to get into this?
Like I said, I've been doing charity work ever since I could remember because it started with my grandmother. And then from time to time, my mother would do stuff as well. So I grew up watching them help people. So it was always there. It was kind of like an upbringing. It was kind of like how they, it was embedded in me. So when I got younger and when I got older, I started doing a little thing here and there. I remember always going to the orphanage with my mother when it's my birthday or when it's my sister's birthday, and we'll do a little give back. Sometimes, we do a little party for the kids and stuff. And from there, I kind of just ran with it and started doing, my old thing. And here I am today.
Okay, so with respect to your Facebook postings and so on, how do you actually get in touch with these people, these women and these vulnerable persons and so on who are in need and who needs assistance or to be channeled in a direction for help? How do you get in contact with those people?
Actually, Roy, they get in contact with me via Facebook. Most of them get in contact with me via Facebook. Rarely somebody would message me and put me on to somebody, but most of the times, these women and these young teens or these people reach out to me. Of course, I have people that sometimes they would say, I have a situation that I think maybe you can help with, or so they would reach out to me. But most of the time, people actually reach out to me. These victims, these people that are dealing with all these issues that want help, they all reach out to me via Facebook.
Okay, one of the concerns that persons have is the manner in which you go about doing what you do. For example, let's start with checks and balances. Like when someone comes to you with a story, how much effort is put into double checking and confirming and asserting that your stories are accurate before you go public and so on?
Okay, Leroy. When I first started making Facebook posts, when I started using the platform that I have to highlight issues, bring awareness to certain causes, at first, I'm going to be honest, when I first started, because I was new to it, when I would just make a post and try to, highlight the issue and stuff without double checking to see if it was correct and stuff like that. But as the years went by, and of course I've learned from previous mistakes, because I've had about one, not a lot, I must say, and I'm grateful for that. I've had about one or two issues where the story wasn't exactly how it was brought to me. But other than that, when I post the story, I always have additional information, and I always say to them, I'll need some evidence to fact check and all of that. I don't post what I have, I post what is the issue. I reserve those just in case the person I'm posting about or the business that I'm posting about decides to take legal action. So I have that evidence, I have that fact that I can present it in court if needed.
How do you treat with people, like, for example, the two cases that you might have had where the story wasn't represented to you as is or as it really was? How did you handle those two situations?
And of course, I did reach out. I reached out back to the individuals. One didn't respond because I sent the person a long message, but the other one keep insisting that that's not the case. That's not the case, because they were saying one story and then the person was telling me something. The person was telling me something else, but the person that was telling me something else, they actually had the evidence to back up what they were saying. So I presented the evidence to them. I was like, no, but yeah, I'm going to have to believe him because this is what he's saying to me.
Okay.
And this is what he's showing me.
And with respect to agencies, government agencies, institutions, and so on, what sort of collaboration, if any at all, exists between yourself or your organization and these agencies who have the power to help and assist and bring closure to some of these or many of these stories that you're posting about? What is the collaboration like between you and those?
I must say that the Guyana Police Force, sometimes I go on Facebook and I make a post about an issue and stuff. And they have reached out to me a lot from time to time. I would have detectives or police officers reaching out to me from time to time as to get down to the bottom of the issues. So I have a pretty good relationship with the Guyana Police Force, and Green from Social Protection as well. I would always reach out from her to time, sometime even on the weekends if something is brought to my attention, and I would reach out to her for help. I'm currently working with the NICO Foundation that is in the US, Save Guyana. I'm not sure, Michelle, she has been here with me since before the launching of Guyana, since when I started sharing stories, the 300 and how much stories of rape and stuff. She's always been there. I work also with Miss Charmaine Prince. She has also been there she's a counselor, and she also have an NGO that is registered in US. I think it's the Eagle Soar. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly or if I'm right, but please forgive me if I'm not, Miss Charmaine. But I also collaborate with her on a lot of, we go back and forth on stuff that we want to do. You can also look forward for a lot of collaboration with a lot of other organizations in the future that I'm currently working on right now.
Ms. Atwell, the issues that you raise and your work and so on, what are some of because I look at your lives, your Facebook lives from time to time. What are some of the stories that come to you that really boils you?
I think some of the most heartbreaking stories are the one where our young boys and girls are being sexually molested. Most times is by someone in the home, a close relative or a close family, sometimes their own father. And it is hard because I have some of those stories. I have a story right now where a young lady, she's 16, that is being molested by her father for years, but she has asked me not to say anything. And sometimes I'm torn between should I do something, but then people come to me because they ask for confidentiality, and I give that to them. So sometimes I'm torn between wanting to help, and then I have to respect the victim wishes.
Yeah, but if she's being molested, and yes, you're thinking about helping and also the wishes, but then in these cases, I would rather suspect you have to now ask yourself, what is the right thing to do?
Well, so far I have put her in contact with a counsel, because I have counsel that work with me from time to time. Sometimes I have to pay for the session, sometimes they volunteer. I'm always looking for volunteers. I have put her in contact with a counselor, and they are working on trying to get her to actually come forward and say something. Person is well known in Guyana, so she's very, very much afraid about saying anything. So that's another thing, fear. Sometimes the victims don't want to come forward because of fear, because of the individual that is doing this to them. So we talk from time to time. She reach out from time to time, and I'm working. We're trying to, because from the advice that I received from the counsel that is talking to her, is that we have to, while we want justice, and we want her father to, you know, to go before the courts for what he's been doing for years, is that we have to also talk to her and see what is her, respect her wishes. So
we're speaking with Melissa Atwell. She's the CEO and founder of Yana. This is Focus. We'll come right back to you after the short commercial break. Welcome back to Focus. If you've just joined, we're speaking with Miss Melissa Atwell. She's the founder and owner of Yana, a non-governmental organization. Ms. Atwell, before we went to the break, we spoke about being able to do the right thing or do what is right when you were torn between respecting the wishes of persons coming to you with stories and ensuring that justice is served. You also spoke, in that explanation, you were speaking about having to pay for legal counsel sometimes and so on. Tell us about the financial burdens and obligations and so on that you have to deal with in the execution of these works that you've been doing.
Well, right now, Yana itself is being funded by me. I reach out not sometimes, I reach out a lot via Facebook. If people send me a message, they're asking for help, whether it's trying to relocate a domestic, take a young lady out of a domestic violence relationship situation. I would post from time to time on my Facebook, and I must say that the people that follow me, the people that follow my work, has been very, 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 very supportive. Yana couldn't have been Yana without them. They come out, they support. Just the other day, I was overwhelmed with all the support I had for a young lady who I was trying to move out from a domestic violence situation. So many people reached out. I was able to pay not just 4, but like 6 months rent in advance for her. I was able to move her to a different location. We were able to get household appliances and utensils for her. And all of this is just from me making a Facebook page. As it relates to legal counsel, I do that from time to time for some victim that need the extra. Sometimes I might need a lawyer to do something for these women. Sometimes as it relates to custody, because most time you find that children are involved, and once children are involved, then when we go to social protection, then you have to go to family court. They have to sort out custody and all of that. I am presently in a situation also where I'm trying to raise legal fee for another situation, a domestic violence situation that is currently going on in Linden. So I'm always trying to raise funds. However, some people donate, some organizations donate, some companies, some organizations reach out to help. The Women Minors Association, I think they've been very, very helpful. When I post from time to time, they will reach out to me and they will help me to remove these victims and actually give them a like cash to pay a 1 or 2 or 3 months rent, and help me to, you know, ask me to put them in contact with them, and they will help to move them, and then I will take it from there. Whatever else needs to be done, I would reach out to them, you know, and get it done. So I have been getting a lot of help. I'm not going to say that, you know, I have been getting a lot of help, and I'm grateful.
What about accountability, financial accountability, and is there a bank account that persons could put?
That is the reason for me starting Yan and registering, because I realized that I needed to do things in a more systematic way, because I wanna be able to have that transparency with my donors. I have every single thing documented. You know, Leroy. Even when we did the movie, remember we did the movie thing where we took the 200 children and we documented everything, how much money was received, receipt, everything. So I have everything documented. I have an assistant who helps me to document those stuff, helps me to keep everything documented. So from time to time, if somebody decides to ask me for something or for a receipt or to make reference or so I have every single thing documented. From the time I started Yana to now, everything has been documented.
Do you believe that in the scheme of things and in your haste to seek to assist a young boy or girl or a woman in a difficult circumstance, do you believe that the postings and so on that you make are always helpful, or do you believe some would have caused more harm than good for those involved, especially the victims?
Well, I haven't had a situation where me posting has caused more harm than good. So
I speak specifically to the channel. For example, with these cases with the police and domestic violence and so on, there's a system, there's a structure. There are certain steps that have to be taken before you move on to the next step and so on. There's sometimes there might be an instance where maybe too much information might be out there and so on.
I have been made aware as it relates to the underage victims of rape. I have had a friend, a very good friend of mine, who's a reporter as well, reach out to me and kind of like guided me as to, you know, why is it that when they're reporting on rape, why they don't put a lot of information out there? Because they don't want the victim to, you know, we guy needs
be identified.
To be identified.
There's something called identification by association.
By association, yes. So I have taken that into consideration when I'm dealing with these rape issues. So I have kind of like edited the way I would put a story out there. So I have done that.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up our interview?
Okay, so I know most people. I made a post just recently, and I was telling them that I have a big announcement to make, and most people was keep asking me, "Oh, what is the big announcement? If I'm pregnant, if I'm getting married." Or, you know, they want to know, but no, it's nothing of the sort. It's nothing personal. I just wanted to share the great news that I have been able to locate a piece of land. I've been able to acquire a piece of land, and I have decided to donate that to my foundation. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be building my first safe house for women and children. So that is going to be my first safe house, I'm sorry. And I start building this year.
Is the land, was it acquired through the normal housing initiative, government allocated, or?
No, it wasn't, Leroy.
Well, persons would like to know how you get the land, so.
The land is there. I have the land. It's been acquired. I want to say a special shout out to Sheriff Security. They were the first person to come on board with me. I have security for that. Whenever the safe house is up and running, it's going to be fully furnished, fully equipped safe house for women and children. I'm going to have my office there. I'm going to have counselors. It's going to be a fully, because what I'm trying to do, Leroy, is not just have a safe house, but I want to be effective in what I do as it relates to these women and children. So it's going to be a fully equipped safe house. It's Sheriff Security have to come on board, of course. They have offered me lifetime security for that safe house. Because of course, when you're taking women out of domestic violence situation, you find sometimes the men them is out there, you know, looking for them. They're hiding. You want to keep them safe, not just them, but everybody there. So Sheriff Security has offered me lifetime security. They have also offered to donate building materials and cash when needed whenever everything is finalized. It's not finalized as yet. Everything should be finalized by, let's say, June. So when everything is finalized, and hopefully I start building in July and finish by early next year.
This has been Focus. My name is Leroy Smith. We were speaking with Ms. Melissa Atwell from Yana Foundation. Do join us here again next week for another edition of Focus.
Small business package is here. Get 1 month digital ads, 12 polo t-shirts, 12 caps, and 150 pens with your logo, of course. 50 bumper stickers and 1 banner stand, all for the amazingly low price of $130,000. Businesses with 1 to 12 employees eligible. Offer while stocks last. Impressions